I'm either out of ideas when the projects come, or I have so many ideas when there's no projects. When you see something you like, save it. Let's take a walk. When it comes to any type of artistic or creative endeavor, you really cannot force it. Sometimes you need to just go for a walk, do something completely unrelated to filmmaking. I think it's these experiences that are more inspiring than anything, honestly. The most intriguing stories to me personally are usually stuff that I have seen, witnessed, or experienced in my actual life. Something sticks out to me and it's like, ooh, there's a story, or ooh, there's a character, or this is a beautiful place. I want to shoot something here. I'll write a story for this location. This is what I call passive inspiration, and it's the opposite of active inspiration. Passive inspiration is an idea that finds you. You're not going out there and looking for it, and you can't predict how, when, or where it's going to find you. And for that reason, it's very important that you capture it in that moment. Sorry. Just a YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, see you.
Take it easy, man. A lot of the ideas you get from passive inspiration might not be feasible right now, and that's totally okay. In fact, that's kind of the point. Like, how many times have you had an idea and you stopped yourself from even finishing the thought because of logistics about, I don't have the budget or the resources to actually make this happen? I know I do that a lot, so passive inspiration is great because you just ignore the logistics of this actually happening. An idea is just an idea. It doesn't mean that you're gonna act upon it. And then who knows, down the line, you might have the resources and the budget to make that happen. So when you're just living your life and you're not thinking about filmmaking, you're not thinking about telling the best story and coming up with the best idea ever, your brain is relaxed, and I think that's when the ideas are able to really channel in. We get writer's block so easily when we're trying to laser focus, like I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write down the best idea ever. I get distracted, or I come up with something that's like too try hard, or just something that isn't me. I think that sometimes if you intentionally try to come up with a bad idea, it can end up being a really good idea. Like if you just sit down, all right, let me write the stupidest plot of all time, you might come up with something you really like. So the opposite of passive inspiration is active inspiration. Active meaning you're actively seeking out the inspiration. Watching movies or playing games from your childhood. Something about nostalgia like really gets the juices flowing. Museums. I've seen paintings that have really inspired me and then replicated that frame in film form. And then two other really random methods that I've just discovered that have worked for me. For music videos, if you're on a plane, play the song and then watch someone else watch a movie. And then the other one is take a walk in a store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Blick, some sort of like craft supply, some sort of art supply. Where are you going? You're not going anywhere. Looking at stuff on display helps me think of ideas, and they can be like ordinary objects. You never know, your brain is weird. You could look at a lamp and get an idea for a short film. So I use the app Google Keep. Anytime I have a really weird random idea, I throw it in there. Anytime I find something that's interesting, I screenshot it, save it, download it to my folder. Another thing I like to do sometimes is intentionally putting myself in a box, choosing certain parameters that I have to abide by or work within. And I find that when I have a box that I'm stuck in, I'm way more creative and it's way easier to come up with something that I like. If you have every color that exists to make a painting with, it's gonna be a really tough decision choosing like which ones you actually end up using and why and where, versus if you're tasked with making a painting and you only have 3 colors. You're gonna get pretty funky and you're gonna get pretty creative with the texture of this one and the shading of another and the placement of one of the colors. You get the idea. I've done this with, I'm only gonna use one lens, or I'm only gonna use one location, whatever it is. There's a lot of ways you can do that. Just because you started writing in one direction or you started a treatment in one direction doesn't mean you need to stay there. You can always turn back, restructure, rewrite, whatever it is. It's good to come back to ideas. I have so many ideas in my notes that I've made videos about 6 months to a year, 2 years later. And I hope that in 10 years I can go back on my notes and make a feature film from some of my stupid ideas I've had in the shower. I mean, even for this video, I wrote this idea maybe 3 weeks ago, and then I've come back to it again and again to add to it, take stuff out. That's just kind of the creative process. And every method that I've been talking about in this video, they can just be starting points if you want them to be. You don't have to take it from this active or passive or put yourself in a box and bring it all the way to the final product. This can just be a catalyst to get the creative juices flowing, or just kind of get your mind in the right spot to start coming up with some ideas. I think that's all I have to say for this video. If this was any help to you, let me know. These are fun to make, and I'm learning as I go and growing as I learn, so this is just kind of like a place for me to put these videos, and I don't know, I think it'd be cool to look back and however long and see where I was at now and then compare it to where I'm at then. So, yep, have a good one.